You're special, Jean.
The X-Men are back with a sequel called Dark Phoenix. The superhero misfits are joined by new addition Jessica Chastain as they face their worst enemy yet, one of their own, played by Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner. I sat down with some of the X-Men here in Paris. Hello to both of you. It's really nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
Jessica, it's your first superhero movie. Did you always want to be in this kind of film, and why?
I always wanted to do big movies and small movies and different genres, and as an actor, like, you kind of want to do everything, you know? And it's a muscle that you don't normally get to use. I remember being in drama school and there'd be like a classroom and they would say something to you like, okay, pretend that you are climbing a mountain, and you have to pretend when there's no mountain. That's what you do when all of a sudden when they're like, hey, by the way, there's 100 guns pointed at you and you're gonna get shot. And so you have to imagine all of these things happening with the green screen. And so it was interesting to explore that again.
And what they don't understand, they fear, and what they fear, we seek to destroy.
They've been pushed to the fringes, disenfranchised, misfits, whatever you want to call it, that they feel different somehow, and because of that difference, they've been shunned. And I just thought that was a really cool central theme of a sort of superhero or fantastical story. It seemed very grounded in something that was very real and relevant.
Look at me. Focus on my voice. I'm not giving up on you, Jean.
She was my friend.
You're my family, Jean. Stop, no matter what.
Stop, stop, stop.
Sophie, you played in the previous X-Men movie, but what was your reaction when you were told that the next one would be centering on your character, Dark Phoenix?
A mixture of emotions. I was petrified, but I was also incredibly honored that Simon would trust me enough to bring this storyline to life, this storyline that so many people have loved for years and years and years. And so obviously there's a lot of pressure that comes with that to get it right, to do justice to the comics, to Chris Claremont, to all the fans that love this story. But it was just exciting.
And the movie is coming out while the last season of Game of Thrones is airing.
I know.
How are you feeling?
I feel exposed.
To say the least.
I feel very visible.
It's exciting though, they're two really great characters and strong and...
Yeah, totally. Very strong female characters, and it's exciting to have two things come out at the same time where both of the women are just so inspiring to me and hopefully many other young boys and girls.
Jessica, you're a fan of Game of Thrones?
I'm obsessed with Game of Thrones. Really, like, I'm crazy. I will go on blogs and read about it. Did you know that? Yes, I'm crazy.
Do you comment? Do you have a profile?
No, I don't comment. But sometimes I forget, like, the history, and then someone will say something, I'm like, that's right! That would happen in the first episode.
Did you read the books?
No.
Not
Because I'm lazy.
Fan,
no, I'm not. Listen.
I didn't read the books.
There are a lot of strong female characters in the film, including, of course, your two characters. Recently, we've seen Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. Do you feel, or are things really changing and shifting for women in the industry these days?
I think there's definitely a difference than there was a few years ago, and I think it's because an audience has really stepped forward and demanded that they see other characters in movies. I still think we have a long way to go, but yeah, I'm pleasantly pleased that studios are finally listening to audiences.
The original comic book came out in the 60s at the beginning of the civil rights movement for gender and race equality. 50 years on, how is the X-Men franchise relevant today? Is it in any way political?
Absolutely. I think it's been relevant since the 60s and continues to be because there's this story kind of revolves around this group of outsiders, people who are different and discriminated against and kind of shunned from society. And the wonderful thing about X-Men specifically is that even though they're shunned from society, now they realize that when they embrace that thing that makes them unique, it makes them more powerful. They're not broken. They're very special. And of course that's relevant to race, to sexism, so many things.
When I was a kid, I had a Superman suit, and I used to sort of practice sort of jumping off the couch, trying to fly, and Spider-Man and Wonder Woman was on television when I was a kid. So I think it's always been there. This idea of escaping, this idea of, the struggles that we have in real life. And I think maybe that's why these sort of writers came up with it. If only we could fly. If only we could have these super strengths to right the wrongs that were done against us or our family or people we know. It's escapism. And I think, as humans, we enjoy that escapism, especially when there's so much pressure, on people in their everyday lives. They like to go into the cinema and disappear for a couple of hours.
We're looking for one of the X-Men, Jean Grey.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
And you won't mind if we look around?
Do you mind if I came to you unannounced and uninvited?
Look, I know who you are. I don't want to fight.
No, you don't.
The movie is intense and serious in a way, but you seem to have had a lot of fun on set. I've heard there were a lot of pranks on each other. Can you reveal?
We had one prank we were gonna do, and we can't say it.
We can't say it, but it's
literally
so good.
It was like we rented. I rented a movie theater, and it was like such a amazing prank we were going to do that we had planned. But sadly, the person we were gonna play the prank on had to work on a Saturday, and everything kind of got. But
Such a good prank.
yes,
It'll
in the
come.
future, it's gonna be out there.
Jessica was the prankster though, for sure.
I think because she used to be afraid of me before she met me, and then we met, and I was like, let's get McAvoy.
And then I was like, yes,
No, we had a really good time. I'm sure, if someone put together a compilation of us dancing, there's a lot.
Oh my God.
Every scene.
It should
Every
be on
scene.
the DVD bonus
Yeah, I'm
features.
sure there will be.
Yeah.
And singing, and
singing.
we made James dance when he was on the wires. We had the guys move his body like he was doing the Macarena and played the song, and it was good.
It was great.
Finally, Jessica, what's Sophie's superpower in real life?
Whoa.
She's got more than one superpower.
I know what you're going to say.
What do you think I'm gonna say?
Well, I'll tell you when you say it. If you say it. You know what? I'll whisper it to you, and then if she says it...
I don't think you know what I'm gonna say.
Game.
Okay, she thinks that I'm gonna say that her superpower is sleeping. However, her superpower is that she makes everyone feel welcome. She makes everyone feel special and everyone feel loved and part of something. And I think that if more people had that superpower, it would be a much better place to live in.
And what's Jessica's then?
Cute. That's amazing. Jessica's superpower...
Lady Red Danger.
Lady Red
That's the
Danger.
name she gave. You
Yeah,
gave me that
I
name.
gave you that name, Lady Red Danger. I forgot about that. Jessica's superpower. I mean, again, she also has many, but I think her superpower that kind of affected me personally was how much of a mentor she is. She's always willing to help others and to share her advice and to really help young girls like me feel empowered and feel strong and kind of entitled to their own opinions and be able to share them. And she really made me feel much more confident.
Cheers to confident women, then. Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sometimes you want to believe people are something that they are not. By the time you realize who they are, it's too late.